Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Okay, entertainment only. First of all and foremost, please, if you're in Alaska in the area of flooding, I believe there's been a typhoon go through Alaska. Goodness, I didn't realize you guys got those things up that far north. So massive flooding, houses washed away. Please look after yourselves, look after your community, and just know that we're thinking of you across the world. Secondly, yeah, it's called a onesie. I couldn't remember the name of it yesterday. I knew what it was, but the onesie, if you can't get yourself, viva la frog, if you can't get yourself hold of a blow-up costume in time, because you're literally 2 days out, from the parades and festivals and however you like to call it. And, you know, if you haven't got a fun mask that you can wear of some sort or a costume, grab your nephews and nieces unicorn onesie or whatever it is. Have fun on the day. It's going to be amazing. Okay, keep it fun is the most important aspect that I'm getting in regards to the No King's March on the 18th. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Goodness me, what a day yesterday. Finally got through all your comments about 10 o'clock last night. Watched Dr. Jennifer Vest and Rosie from Rosie's Insights. Totted off to bed about 11:30 and put the earplugs in to listen to Jack Smith's interview. The link of it is in my post section. If you go to Meister Tarot under any video or the little pink box, you will find the main page, and on there's posts. His interview was an hour or so long with the ULC, I think it's called. Oh gosh, I should check that. I think it's the ULC. But there's a link there anyhow. Fabulous, fabulous interview. I could have listened for hours. He was very succinct. He was very clear on the process of law and how he followed the process of law in regards to the Orange Twerp, really pushing back on this claim of weaponizing. Interesting timing, because Jim Jordan's just, I'll have a look at that. Jim Jordan's just come out with a letter that he has sent to Jack Smith. It's brewing. I'm just going to put it out there. It is really brewing. Jim Jordan came out with a letter. Let me bring that up. Sent to Jack Smith. Basically, it was full of low vibration trigger words. It was just, you know, the unnecessary and abusive raid on his residence and the improperly pressured defense counsel with the promise of political patronage. It's all the letter. It's very much aimed at the base. And it's very much full of triggering weasel words, which are completely unnecessary in a professional setting. For example, your abusive surveillance of sitting members of Congress. You know, there's no need for the word abusive. He's seizing the cell phone in a stunning breach of constitutional separation of powers. No need for the word stunning, etc. And despite the abuse of the English language, most of what he has sent in his letter is untrue anyhow. And Jack Smith actually pointed that out very clearly in his interview yesterday, so the timing is really interesting. But Jim Jordan has sent apparently a letter to Jack Smith demanding that he come to the the oversight committee and testify, which is, you know, claiming that the staff that were working under Jack Smith have not fully disclosed what they should be disclosing, etc., and so forth. It's just a ranting letter. However, Raskin, gotta love Representative Raskin. has replied with, in a completely unexpected and welcome twist, Chairman Jordan's letter today to Jack Smith clearly demands the release of the full report and all accompanying records from his investigation into Donald Trump's hoarding of classified documents and obstruction of justice. So Raskin is a constitutional lawyer. He is incredibly skilled, and I do love how he turned the tables on Jim Jordan's for the base rant into, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go there. So what I want to have a look at, and I'm using the Trip and Wait Tarot, which is a bit of a lighter deck. I just want to have a look to see what the reaction to Jack Smith's interview is. So how is the orange twerp? Hasn't posted anything from what I can see. News of the day in regards to the orange twerp is basically confirms he authorized the CIA to act within Venezuela. Oh goodness me, can't keep his mouth shut. But would not confirm or deny whether the CIA had been advised to topple the Maduro government. Now the Maduro government, they're not. It's stay out of it is all I can say. Stay out of it. It's basically he's using his position to attack any government that he doesn't agree with. It's just all vindictive. But let's have a look. How is the orange twerp feeling after the Jack Smith interview? Now, I did love how the interviewer, who was also an incredibly experienced prosecutor, and he actually reminds me of Data, of the way he speaks, Data of Star Trek. But he was the one that extended. It wasn't Jack Smith. Jack Smith he was very clear and concise with his words and strictly to the letter of the law, without straying outside of provable facts, etc., provable facts and processes. The interviewer was the one that actually then stepped outside the boundaries and made observations. So that was really interesting. But let's have a look. How did the orange twerp feel about Jack Smith's interview? I'm sure. I wonder if he's actually even seen it, because it was about an hour long. As I said, I could have listened for hours. I thought, I'd drift off to sleep halfway through, but no, I was riveted to the end. How did the orange twerp feel about the interview? How does he feel about the interview? Finding himself nakedly exposed. And the interview did do that. It talked about non-partisan process by the letter of the law and how the investigation was undertaken via the letter of the law, including that brought down about immunity of presidents by the Supreme Court. Jack Smith was really careful and outlined. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It was brilliant pushback. So yeah, he's finding himself pretty much naked about it. Now, what's happening is I suspect they are plotting what to do next, how to get at Jack Smith. Let me put it that way. Because this guy, he is by the book down the line. They did talk about the Comey charges. They talked about the staff that worked with Jack Smith and the FBI staff, so the DOJ and FBI staff that worked with Jack Smith. The interviewer pointed out that a high-ranking FBI official refused to sack those that had worked with Jack Smith, so found himself being fired. There was a few things pointed out. Okay, yeah, I think he's found himself nakedly exposed. Hasn't got a leg to stand on, pretty much. Okay. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. And the challenge is treason. Treason, betrayal, feeling betrayed. It's got no jurisdiction in London where this interview took place, but how's he feeling about it? Exposed and betrayed. Okay, hasn't said anything about it yet. I just think there was a lot pointed out about what actually happened in regards to the investigation, and brought up about the Biden and Pence, that they had classified documents, blah blah blah, etc. And as Smith pointed out, oh, Spot, he's been rubbing on my pot plants, hanging pot plants outside. He's covered in shrubbery. As Jack Smith pointed out, the cases were completely different with Biden and Pence. The documents they had were 15-year-old documents. They weren't recent. They were not sensitive information. And they, as soon as they realised they had them, they handed them back, or had teams come through and go through everything in the house to remove what they needed to remove. In contrast to the Orange Twerp, whose documents were incredibly recent, highly sensitive information, and he obstructed giving them the request to give them back. Okay, so quite different was pointed out. Now here's the Orange Twerp himself, the Emperor, the energy that's stewing in, sitting on his throne, thinking he's a king and can do whatever he likes. But the patches on his pants, he's in a poorly position in regards to this. Sitting on his stone throne, thinking that he's all that and has control. Okay, in the past is the past. It's also my Epstein file card, but the gift from the past. So I'm asking, what did the Orange Twerp think of the interview? Naivety in the past. Just the past is the past. Okay, let's see where it goes. Judgment at the top. Crowning this reading is an awakening. Now, and a klaxon siren awakening. Now, I've said again and again and again that everybody who will wake up will have a different line in the sand, that once it is crossed, they're fully awake. This is another one of those instances. Okay, but look at the through line here. Judgment, the Sun, the Emperor, and the challenge being treasonous action. Wow. Okay. The immediate future, the King of Pentacles, the oligarchs, or just the Orange Twerp thinking his money will buy his way out. What's reports that he went into the presidency with a personal wealth of 3 billion, and in the space of 9-10 months is now worth 7 billion. Yeah, not quite sure how one gets that on a $400,000 annual salary, but anyhow. And I'm going to have a look at Baron in a moment. I might do some multiple readings in this particular one because there's a lot to look at today. But yeah, the King of Pentacles. So here he is in this position thinking he's in control. And here he is in the immediate future, the King of Pentacles, thinking that if the money will solve everything. However, externally, he's going to be on the back foot, having to defend himself in regards to demands for please explain. Now, notice that Hegseth put out a demand, and I think I'm sure there was an executive order decree that was put out that said all news stations had to sign something to say that everything had to be run through the Department of Defense. I refuse to call it Department of War because it hasn't been officially renamed. through Hegseth's office before they could report on it. Well, only one of all the media outlets in the United States signed that agreement, and that was OAN or OANN or whatever it is, the far right Trump supporting channel. Every other channel, including Fox, refused to sign. So we're getting this pushback, I suspect, by the media with this please explain. So he's going to be on the back foot and defensive. This might be the Orange Twerp putting out his usual ruling by tweet or whatever it is on his Untruth social channel. Let's see where it goes. Internally, trying to bring forward a new plan, a new message, trying to change the messaging perhaps. On the back foot, trying to cut through with their own message, but it's only a page, it's not a king. Okay, hopes and fears. Keeping things under wraps. Now remembering, Jack Smith was not only the election interference case in New York, he also did the document stealing treason case in Florida, entertainment only. So the hopes and fears is the insecurity, trying to keep the information covered up. This is the Orange Twerp and the regime, trying to hang on to the position. The outcome, the abuse of power being fully revealed. The abuse of power, the betrayal, the deceit, the win at any cost, the self-sabotage that took place, and you've got these people walking away. Queen of Swords, and then restriction. So there could be a strategy. Now, is this going to restrict Jack Smith, or is this restricting the Orange Twerp? Trying to find a roundabout way, unexpected messaging coming forward, but it's going to be too much too fast. Feeling restricted, potentially. Okay, you've got trying to come up with a strategy, but the infighting and then the loss. As a whistleblower comes forward, and those that thought were all smug, it's going to bring an ending for them with the World card. Okay, so I want to have a look with Jim Jordan demanding. I have to keep an eye on the time. I'm on grandma duties this afternoon. With Jim Jordan putting out his, oh God, it was just hilarious. Was it written by a high school dweeb, knob, whatever you like to call it? It was full of, the too many words to start with, too many words, most of them not required, full of trigger language, being over dramatic. Oh gosh. Sounded like a Regency romance where she gasped and fluttered her fan and fell back on her red velvet reclining couch. Oh, whatever it was. Swooned, or whatever. Oh, anyhow, let's have a look. Jim Jordan. Why and how is it going to end up? He's tried to use it as a weapon, this letter, claiming all sorts of things that are untrue, to get it on the record. Why has he made this? Why has he sent this letter? Okay, I just heard to try and control the narrative. Okay, well, we know that's pretty much a standard for these guys. So we've got the Knight of Cups, the letters being sent, the false knight, And then you got the Two of Swords. I think he's erred in this, and he's now got to decide what he's going to do about it. Because Raskin, oh, don't you love it? Jamie Raskin came back and said, yeah, sure, release this is what you've demanded. The whole file be released, plus all the other occupying documents, because it's never been released. We've only seen the preliminary report. Oh, cards going everywhere. And I do have to laugh. Okay. The Two of Cups, this was Raskin and Jordan. Jordan making a statement, and Raskin on this side has got his hand reaching across and saying, yeah, I'll have that. Give it to me. Jordan has found himself with his back up against the wall. He's put out this one message, but he's basically painted himself into a corner with this. And then we've got the orange twerp himself, the Emperor energy. I think Jordan probably got a dressing down by the regime last night. Let's have a look. So what happened to Jim? Oh, secrets being revealed and the investigation shining a light. Okay, what's Jim Jordan going to do next? Because the only way out of this for him is to retract, however you like to put it. What's Jim Jordan? How's this going to play out for Jim Jordan? He's obviously erred big time. I mean, this is a guy who's the head of the, is it the Judiciary Committee? There's so many committees. Who failed his bar license. He's not even a lawyer. He failed his bar license, I think, 2 or 3 times, something along like those lines. Going up against Raskin, who is an experienced constitutional lawyer. Okay, how's this going to work for Jim Jordan? How's it going to play out? Well, we've got the Empress card here, my Russia card. Now, I am going to do another reading because, boy, oh boy, I did some more follow-up and from my reading yesterday on Paul Tatum, and this rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. My Russia card. This is the Russia card. Okay. She can also be abundance. She can also be nurturing for all. She can also be got something hidden under her skirts. Can be about fertility. But it's my Russia card. The Ace of Cups, the challenge is the Ace of Cups. Emotionally overwhelming, that is going to bring about a cleansing. He erred big time with Jordan with this. It's like demanding the phone logs. Conversations weren't recorded. It was just a phone call from here to there, the sender and the recipient. Emotionally overwhelming. It's a challenge, so it could be emotional regret. Something's happening here. Page of Pentacles. So how's this going to play out for Jim Jordan? The energy he's stewing in, he put it out there, the demand. It wasn't a demand for the release of the report, but I don't think he thought through what he was actually requesting. And that's why Raskin's jumped on it. It's just a page. He put the idea out there to see if it would fly, and I don't think he thought it through. In the past, he may have been ordered to do this. Didn't like what was on offer in the past that was being presented to him. He might have got a call saying, you need to put this out. He's put it out and it's backfired on him. Now, I will never understand why any of these people tie their wagon to the Trump train. Did they not learn from his first regime that everybody, pretty much except for the twerp himself, either ended up bankrupt, reputation destroyed, or in jail, pretty much. And so I will never understand, because he always protects himself and makes everybody else do the dirty work. So in the past, I think he was told to do this. The energy over his request is, first of all, again, to try and control the narrative, but he might do some backpedaling here. I hope Raskin keeps pushing to say, well, you've asked for it, you've asked for it, you've asked for it, because he might be trying to put the lid back on, put the genie back in the bottle that he's let out. Because he's put it out there, and it's not turning out. He took the lid off, and it's not turning out to be what he intended it to be. Okay, how's this going to play out? Talk about genie back in the bottle. Be careful what you wish for. It's one of my meanings for this card, because you've got the genie out of the lamp here. You think you've got it all lined up in a row, but be careful what you wish for. Externally, because you might just get it with that Ace of Wands. The report might just be released with the Ace of Wands. Wow. Internally, there'll be some sort of announcement from the White House, rah, 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 trying to distract, but nobody's buying it in the behind. I think, okay, okay, thank you. I just got that there's going to be some quite prominent MAGA commentators that are going to grab hold of the promise that this file is going to be released. It's going to backfire. That's all I can get. Yeah, there's going to be some sort of rah, 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 rah carry on from the White House to try and distract from this moment. It's a bit like, and there's the oligarchical money, the legacy, hopes and fears, the legacy, end of an era, moving through into a new era, which is what we're in the process of doing at the moment. It's got very much vibes of Hegseth. Just pop that down for a moment, pop you up. Hegseth coming out and saying, oh, we're going to build an Air Force base for the Qataris. They're going to bring their F-16s over, blah, 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 blah. He wouldn't, might have been the whiskey speaking, but he wouldn't have said that unless it was an actual plan. You can't, that's not a mistake, spoke mistakenly. That's not a mistaken speaking. That was an actual plan. And when there was such backlash about it, Vance came out and went, oh, no, that's not what he meant, blah, etc. Nobody's buying it. Well, if they are, they're, deliberately being ignorant and buying it. It's the same with this. There's Body having a snooze. If you're wondering what that, there, he's got like a wart growth that he likes to lick. He can lick it away, and being white, it does show up. But yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting, is the old misspoking. Right, the outcome, the Queen of Wands, trying to come up with a new plan to detoxify how this was interpreted. Sunflowers are very much about, they are fabulous for detoxifying the soil, because they draw a lot of toxins up into themselves. I don't quite know what you do with the sunflowers once they've done that, because you obviously wouldn't dig them back in. But they're trying to come up with a plan. Oh, God, on the bottom, I hadn't even seen that. They're trying to come up with a plan to detoxify the Raskin's interpretation of and the MAGA media leaping onto this, but you've got the all-seeing cat. It's out. The cat is out of the bag. Literally, the cat is out of the bag. Two queens as well. Three of Pentacles, secret meetings, planning behind the scenes. I suspect this is Jordan here, getting his instruction from his overlords. Who knows what that instruction's going to be? Let's have a look. But it's too little too late, is what I'm going to say with the Sun card there. This ties in with the Jack Smith interview. I would not be surprised if Jamie Raskin and Jack Smith had had a conversation in regards to this. I believe Jordan's letter was yesterday and Jack Smith, or the day before, I don't know when that letter was sent, and Jack Smith's interview was about 2 or 3 days ago. I would not be surprised if this is a multi-pronged approach, both within Congress with Jamie Raskin and Jack Smith externally. Exposure. Page of Wands again, trying to come up with some sort of message. You've got the Lovers card and you've got the infighting. Jordan might find himself thrown under the bus in regards to this. You've got the Tower, you've got the Hermit, you've got the Chariot, you've got the on the defensive, you've got, this is my vote flipping card, and you've got the Devil, the Tower, Hermit, investigation, military. On the back foot about the vote fitting and flipping, and the Devil, mercenary actions from the past, volatile information, and then the Justice card. Sit in the bleachers on the sideline, drink your champagne straight from the bottle, chomp on your buttered popcorn or your caramel popcorn, yum, and watch the unraveling. It absolutely. Okay, so what next? Let's have a look. What next? What next? So Jordan has done his stupid letter that I'm getting the vibe that he was told to do, to release, to write, thinking he was owning it. Let's do a little bit of a crutch roll. You know, that thought. Thought he was owning it, but it's been absolutely turned on him because he's so incompetent. Everything about this regime is so incompetent. That's what happens when you give jobs to the unqualified lads. But let's have a look. What is going to happen now? Okay, is the report going to be released? Is the report? Jordan has put it out. Raskin said, yeah, sure, go for it. Painted Jordan into a corner. Is the report going to be released? Highly redacted if it is. The fool, Jordan, the fool, walking off the cliff. It was a stupid move. They just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper and deeper. If they had not tried to do this vindictive, attacking, backlashing carry-on that they have, trying to paint the previous administration as dastardly and all the rest of it, and actually if they simply just went into government and governed, none of this would be happening. None of this would be coming out. It'd all be forgotten and we'd all be carrying on our merry way. So it was a really foolish move. At the moment, they are in damage control secret meetings to try and work out what to say, do next. Will the reports come out? Because they do not actually want the report released. They don't want it. They don't want it released. They like to be able to claim what's in it and nobody can contradict them because nobody knows what's in it. So they're in damage control at the moment. They're trying to work out what the heck to do next with that Two of Wands. So the challenge is the Three of Pentacles, the Fool, the Three of Pentacles. The energy that they're in at the moment is the Two of Wands, trying to work out what the heck to do next. And they're looking at on the world stage, because this regime, I'm just going to say, have no control. They cannot dictate to any other country what they do. They can claim that they can. It's like the orange twerp going, now you guys need to make nice in the Middle East and there'll be no more war. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There is a bill that I think has been presented to the US Congress about, one of my lovely viewers brought it up, a bill to the US Congress about having US border security over the border into Canada, and Canadian border security can come over the border into the US, and about working together. Well, yeah, they should work together. It doesn't matter if that bill gets passed in the US Congress. Canada can still say, yeah, no way. Hell no, that's not going to happen. Just because this regime makes some sort of order, dictates whatever they like to do, they actually cannot tell another country what to do. Another sovereign country. They have no right. But at the moment, they're trying to plan what to do on the international scale. You've got the three crows circling over here. They up here. This is in my, what deck is it? The Lightseers deck. The crows are swords. The three crows would signify treason, betrayal, loss, heartbreak, despair, all the usual, but treason and betrayal, and they are circling beyond the reach of this regime. In the past, fool's gold. So I'm asking about, will the report come out? In the past, there was an opportunity and they messed it up. And it is literally dripping through their fingers. Okay, crowning this reading, the circles of support. Those, again, another three. Circling the wagons around the orange twerp, perhaps. Celebrating some sort of supposed win. So is the report going to come out? I'm not picking up this is Raskin. I'm picking up that this is Jordan, and it may be with others on the Judicial Committee or thereabouts. I'm not sure which. I have to remind myself, because there's an ethics committee and there's all sorts of committees that are got active cases at the moment. I think it's the Judicial with Jordan as the chair. But yeah, circling the wagons, so to speak. Right. The immediate future. The Eight of Cups, trying to find a way out of this situation. They might just simply ignore and walk away. However, the cat's out of the bag. Externally, we've got the treason card, and the eye has been opened. They unlocked this can of worms. They let the genie out of the bottle, and now the eyes, the people are seeing it. Not all of them. Some of them, as I said, I think about 17% of voters will go to their grave kissing the golden sneaker. But this is really eye-opening about treason, betrayal, perverting the law. And we've got internally a false victory. So some sort of, again, a proclamation of a false victory. They may release, I'm not even getting segments of it. They may release disparate segments, because these look like, I know they're flowers on the horse's coat, but they do look like pentacles. So there may be a release of selected parts and claiming a victory, but it's a false victory, and the people in the background are not buying it. They're not buying it. Hopes and fears, some sort of subduing offer that is put out there. Again, I think they're going to disclose some parts, selected parts. This is what this planning is. And go, see, rah, 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 but the people aren't buying it. They think it's going to subdue, but it's not. Okay, the outcome is the World card. It's bringing an ending and stepping through into the new chapter, but it also, the report may come from elsewhere in the world. You've got this judgment card, huge klaxon wake-up call, and then you've got death. Bringing an ending, big judgment moment, and then ending. Oh boy. I'm just seeing what's next. We've got the Queen of Swords, and then we've got the higher authorities coming forward. They really opened this can of whoop-ass. Six of Swords, desperately trying to run for cover here, packing up your swords and undercover, trying to put a lid back on it. But Ace of Cups, it's out there. The Empress, the Ace of Swords, and the Chariot card. This Chariot card's been turning up over and over and over and over again. Yeah, it's going to backfire spectacularly on them. It was a stupid move on Jordan's behalf, and from whoever told him to do it. You can hazard a guess as to who it was. Stupid move, because it is going to wake up even more people, but it's also going to expose the treasonous behaviour of the Orange Twerp in regards to these Jack Smith cases. Entertainment only. Okay. As I said, sit in the bleachers, glug your champagne straight from the bottle, caramel popcorn. It's going to be interesting. Love to you all. And send Jamie Raskin messages of support. Okay, catch you shortly. Bye-bye.